Hey everyone, Brendan Snyder here. How are you? Thanks so much for joining me and welcome to a special review and discussion for the two brand new Guns N' Roses songs, Atlas and Nothin', just released on December 4th of 2025, although they were actually supposed to drop 2 days earlier. This is also the first new material from them in 2 years, and in all, since they reformed in 2016, this is only 6 songs in 9 years, almost a full decade. Hopefully, we're going to get a lot more, but right now, we've got Atlas and Nothin' to discuss. I'll get into it here in just a bit, but before we start, if you're new to my channel, and you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please do. Leave a comment, hit like. All those things do help support my channel. I'd greatly appreciate it. And of course, as an added bonus, by turning on notifications, you'll never miss an episode and stay up to date on cool things like this, where we're talking about the two brand new Guns N' Roses songs, Atlas and Nothin'. So, a little bit of history here. Both songs part of the Chinese Democracy Sessions. So, Chinese Democracy, the album that came out in 2008, taking 17 long years to make and come out. We all know that history and everything, but not everyone knows about the Village Sessions. This leaked in 2019. This is a 2 CD selections from it. It is a bootleg, but it's something that was compiled and put out. It's very high quality. I've actually done a full review, an unboxing of this. Incidentally, the songs we're going to talk about today come from here, demos. So the Village Sessions go back to 2000, 2001. So 25 years ago that this stuff comes from. And, now after 2019, when that stuff was leaked, we're getting re-recorded versions of both Atlas and Nothin'. And so even though the 6 total now new songs that Guns N' Roses has put out all come from the original Chinese Democracy Sessions, once Duff and Slash get a hold of it, I really think they turn it into what I would call a real Guns N' Roses song. I mean, it's the thing that brought them so much interest and character originally, and the sound and style. I mean, Duff, when he gets in there, he's always found a way to add bass parts that, while laying down and working in tandem or pairing with the drums as bass parts should do, he also essentially makes it like a lead instrument. If you listen to or break out just the bass part that Duff will play, it's often very interesting, and certainly just shows the quality of musician that he is, being somebody that is able to play multi-instruments and things of that nature. Shows that he is more than just a bass player, of course. And then Slash, and the sound that he plays in his work and what he has always been able to bring to the band. I mean, no one else sounds like Slash. And so getting him on these tracks really brings a fresh feel to them. To me, it resonates more with what the original Guns N' Roses sound was. And so getting that really turns these tracks into more than just what we have heard them as in terms of the leaked versions. And so while the Village Sessions have more of a modern feel to it, and that's essentially what the Chinese Democracy album sound was in 2008, these tracks here are really quite different and unique from that. I mean, the Chinese Democracy stuff that originally came out, if we're talking about the album itself, they had planned a part 2 and 3. Whether it would have become what I'm holding here in terms of the Village Sessions is another thing, but now getting these re-recorded versions is sort of capping off and finishing off that. So for those of us that did really enjoy Chinese Democracy, albeit very different than the original Guns N' Roses stuff, still, this is very cool to get that. So let's go ahead and talk about the first track, and it's not really made clear which one is the A or B side. I think they're both basically a double A side in this case. So I'm going to start with Atlas. Not much different from the original version. In my opinion, it's just kind of defined a bit more. It's a bit more powerful than the original demo. The main difference is really the guitar as the lead instrument on it. It really kicks off the track, whereas the Village session or the demo version of this, the keyboard is the lead instrument in the song. And so that's a unique thing right from the get-go that you hear, while the song structure and everything stays pretty much the same, having Slash and the guitar as the lead element is of course what most GNR fans would want. And so this is why I say, bringing Slash and Duff in on these songs, even though most of this stuff is 25 years old at this point, really shows what it is that, in this case, Axl / Duff can do as a team, but even bigger and broader than that, the new lineup of Guns N' Roses, which of course is really making me want to hear something new and original from this lineup, because it is a new lineup. It's not a full reunion, right? It's a partial reunion with other new people mixed in. But these re-recorded songs from the original sessions, I think, sound way better, of course. It shows what Chinese Democracy would have sounded like had the original band stayed together in order to do that. This version of Atlas hits much harder than the demo version. It's far more interesting to listen to with Slash's lead work added to it. It really adds a sort of enhanced level to the song and makes it jump out much more than when I first heard the track itself. And maybe my only real complaint on this particular track is the mix on it. Of course, I think it sounds really good, but it could be mixed a bit clearer, giving the instrumentation a bit more room to breathe in between there. But all in all, for what it is, I think it sounds great. It is obviously a step up from the demo, not just quality-wise, but in terms of song wise, the ultimate development and finished version of it really shows that they went in, they didn't just add parts to it, they really thought about what it was that they were doing and the enhancement that they could do to the track, and it took it to the next level. All right, and the other one, Nothin'. Now, of the two songs, Atlas and Nothing, this track here I think is the most updated. And while the basic song structure is the same as the demo version, the original one was much more of a dreamy sounding ballad, whereas this one here has been revved up considerably, really kicks in at about the 45-second mark, whereas the demo version pretty much stays and that piano laden or keyboard laden sound throughout its entire 3.5 minutes. And that's the thing. This song, the new one that you all are getting to hear, is 30 seconds longer than the Village session version of it. It does fade out, but we know it all as that. So that was a nice development to get a 30-second added bit, which I think is the lead work in the middle of it. And the one thing it is that I never cared about for this song, so when I first heard they were going to do the song Nothing, I was a little bummed by it, but I was also very intrigued as to how it is they would make this thing better, because I never liked the cheesy, iconic sort of 90s era sounding keyboard that starts this thing off that you hear on this new version, but in the original, that just plays all the way through. And it just didn't really click for me. I didn't really care for it. I, again, liked the song structure, but was really intrigued to see what they do. So having Slash come in and lay the guitar work and start right in on it, so overlaying on that keyboard a little bit of a lead bit that Slash does, really lifts it up, takes it to the next level, and by that 45-second mark, when the whole band kicks in on it, just makes this really entirely something different than the original demo version of it, enhancing it. And so Slash also adds a blistering guitar solo to it, maybe of the two tracks, the best guitar solo for these two versions, but really just making it all that much better. So even when the band itself is working on songs that Axl wrote 25 years ago, it really shows that the song can be resurrected and turned into a killer new GNR song. And I think Nothing is the song that really shows just how much Guns N' Roses can do to some of that stuff, or the present day lineup can do to some of that stuff. So now I don't really know why it is that at this point, with 6 new songs having been released by the band since they reformed, and unfortunately that was 2016, so we're talking 9, almost 10 years later, why they haven't released an EP. This would have been a perfect time to have taken the 2 new songs plus the 4 that were already out and drop an EP. They haven't done that, but I've chosen to collect them together, make a digital playlist so that I can listen to them all. And so what I've done is, I'll give you the track listing on it. So the first one up is Hard School, and the second one is Perhaps. I think these are the 2 best songs released so far by the band. Then we've got Atlas added in 2025. Going back to what is the B-side to this one here, The General. And that was one that didn't really catch my ear in 2023, but I'm hearing it in an entirely new light now. Then we go back to brand new Nothin 2025, followed by Absurd, which is the B-side to the Hard School single. That one too, not my favorite cup of tea, I guess, but has grown on me over the years. And then I've actually thrown on, at least for my playlist, the bonus track of Shadow of Your Love, the studio version of that. So 7 tracks together is a nice little listen of what I call new Guns N' Roses material. So I've done that, and I also want to point out that on December 12th, you're going to be able to pre-order physical copies of these 2 new songs, as well as other related merchandise. And so there'll be 7-inch and Japanese CD single release for this. They haven't mentioned any other format. And I don't know because the band has announced this, whether or not the Japanese CD single is going to be sold on the band's website, or they're just letting people know that if you go to a Japanese reseller, you're going to be able to get it on CD. But either way, 7-inch and CD single will be available. Also not made clear if both songs will be on one 7-inch, or we're going to get 2 7-inches with B-sides, like a live track or something like that. So it will be interesting to see how they choose to do this. But I'm kind of hoping that they stick to the format that they've done with both of these, where it's 2 new studio songs on these. This one here actually came with 2 additional tracks, so 4 tracks total on it. That making the Hard School EP. It'd be great actually if they did that here, put the 2 new songs in and added 2 live tracks or something like that. But we'll have to wait until the 12th to see what they do. Anyway, bottom line, Village Sessions have 18 more tracks on it. When I'm talking about that, I'm referring to the 2 CD best selections disc that I have here. So 18 more GNR songs that have not yet been released, and theoretically plenty more stuff for them to work on and keep doing what they're doing. That said, the song The General is not one of the ones that's on here, so obviously much more stuff in the vault that we are not privy to, meaning that there's even more stuff out there. But I think at this point, most of us would rather they write brand new original material present day instead of working on 25-year-old demos. As much as I'm enjoying what they're doing, I think I would certainly rather hear something brand new, literally. Have to hope, though, that the 6 songs dropped so far are just songs to tide us over. They are just single releases. They're not being held back for an album release, and that when an album drops finally, it will actually be all new original material. And this is just a way to release some stuff while working on the new material. Obviously, we'll all find out together at the same time when the album finally drops. It'll be ready when it'll be ready, as the band used to always say about Chinese democracy. So much in the same way, I think this new one will be that. But, as for these 2 new songs, I gotta say I'm really happy. I think they that it adds to the band's legacy. And I, for one, am glad that they're doing this. And if we're not going to be getting anything else, I'll certainly keep taking these new re-recorded and reinterpreted Chinese Democracy Session songs. And so there you go. Guns N' Roses, Atlas and Nothing, new 2-song review. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you check the songs out, weigh in, let me know your thoughts on it. If you have ever heard the original demo versions, the Village sessions, this stuff is all out there to stream online, YouTube pages, and people have it uploaded. This is a great bootleg, very high quality, silver press CDs and everything. As I said, I have done a full review of this. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check that out and hear more about it. But if you've had a chance to hear the original demos and have essentially done the comparative aspect the way that I just did here in this review, I would be interested in your take on that as well. But all in all, I hope you guys are enjoying the new Guns N' Roses material the same way that I am. Weigh in, let me know your thoughts. All right, everyone, until next time, see you soon. Bye-bye.